sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly will I establish them in a state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood.
Te che de sang ma je je par de lunga yi song ge ba la go ma shi de lunga yi song ge ba la go a du de ne song de ne ma sang
Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind.
Sanje chodan soje chonan lai chancho vart dane jasun che dake jin so jin be sonan che Drola pencher sanje droba hyo sanje chodan soje chonan lai chancho vardu dani jasun che dake jin so jin be sonam che drola pencher sanje droba sho.
In the Buddha, the Dharma, and his Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Manam gadam nyambe semchen tamji devatan Devi judan dembarara chor je dungar ke judan chebarara chor je dungar mebe devatan me chebarara chor je nyeren shadan nidan cheve danyo La ne bara je manam kar sim chen tam chi deva tan deve ju tan den bara je dungar ke ju che bara je dungar mebe deva dam me je bara je nyeren sha dan ni dan che ve dan yon la ne bara je.
May all mothers, sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Jam tenje to mi zang len jian zha pe dong song ha zur mi jar wa dur jian chan pan ji tian gong bu xiao lan du du da de zam ju chu le me qian jie lo xie tu jie jian nian ge men ba zhen ne jiang sen zhu zhe su do ba qin jie lo.
unequaled refuge, ornament of the world. Your fame pervades the 3,000 worlds. You are the victor, Vajradhara, without a doubt. I bow at the feet of the Father, Jigten Sungan. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings. Dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I may realize the unelaborated nature of mine.
사제 보주 조신 매도 장르라 능제 년대 전반대 상제 신나 매대 부바예 조그 남다 신도 보라쇼 원그르 대반자 게네르나메
The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with meadow, the supreme mountain, the four continents, and the sun and moon. As a Buddha field, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. Om Guru Dewa Dakini Ratna Mandala Pratita Soha.
Samjian Namji Zamba Dang Lo Ye Che Da Che Dawa Che Chung De Mo De Ba E Shu Jin Ko Lo Gor Tu So.
Please turn the wheel of the Dharma, of the two vehicles and their combination, according to the dispositions and likewise the mental capacities of sentient beings.
Tamke tukje xiaoze re sun chong xie jie me to tukje bong jiong be se zhen hong po de bu de ji bi ge xiaoze jie wei xiao la jiang zhe ro to jian xiang wang de ro na ro tang men me ta hu pa ren ji dian gong ge ri sum dian zai wei na me zai ju la ma ye dum qi xiong ma su wang de su dao ju qin ji lo wa de ne dang a zu ka sang gong zhuo si gang zhuo yo wa dang gong zhuo de wa gong zhuo de da sun pa de ka dang gong zhuo ni ti zhuo song da xie yu wa gong zhuo xie yu li ti na la我这送把的，他一个结巴工的，也是一个工的。看一下呢，他当然做销售情报你们俩去呀了，做对这不是把讲他们做话是积累要个的话，我听的都对这不讲要，那那确实是吧？这都是是被工的听吧的，我听的都是被工的去过有的是，就当他的那边呢就是那着，都是工的那着，我听看的那的都是被。thì ngô在为拉玛伊吧，那把它它都是生巴中，我那边的就个人都是强中，我这就遇到我公过学的是。
And so yesterday we discussed the preliminaries. So we said that there is 4 preliminaries, and we discussed 2 of them. And now we continue with the 3rd preliminary, and that is the 100-syllable mantra of Vajrasattva. And so in general, in order to practice Mahamudra, to be able to practice Mahamudra effectively, or for us to easier develop the realization of Mahamudra, we mainly have to purify our obscurations. And the best way to purify them is the practice of Vajrasattva. And that is why it is also part of this practice here. And so generally, whether we practice Guru Yoga or we practice Vajrasattva, we always think of the deity as the essence being the root guru, and then the appearance appearing as Vajrasattva. Or in the case of the Guru Yoga, the Guru would be appearing as Vajradhara. So now we continue with the practice of Vajrasattva, the 100-syllable mantra.
等下他让他妈把这个嘞，他让他妈把这个，就我这边的顶头，红的都是什么工作干不？这些就恰你吧，也都是这样吧，他用的去，过点吧下也讲用工呗，人不去见就见不公司，很多他这都是什么过的过不工过的是，同样我其他的都是什么给工作干不，sem去什么我没吧。 샘제 뭐 처마미 봐. 되게 그거 갖고 손쇼사리.
And so for that, you visualize yourself or you see yourself in your ordinary form. So you are in your ordinary form with a lotus and moon disc on your crown. On the moon disc stands the syllable Hung, which transforms into Vajrasattva, white with one face and two hands. His right hand holds a Vajra at his heart, and his left hand holds a bell at his waist. Adorned with jewel ornaments, he sits with his right leg extended and his left leg bent. Thus meditate. So that's the visualization. And so the ultimate meaning of Vajrasattva's form is his white color represents the flawless, the stainless essence of your own mind.
드네 디투카는 다베키 땡도 혼나 이게 제베가 예고 거로 거로래 워젠초 초주 상제당 전체 선바탐지 투카네 이게 되지 주 고데 주화 도르제 셈베라 템베 도르제 셈베 꾸루 참지 제발 그만에 투칸 되지 주 종네 샤베페 테모나랑 지고 나마르 쇼베 랑케 룽아 이선 데이터 탐색 냠차 탐지 간도 나포 넘버 치아를 후네 슌촌 사과미베게 되지 강화zam는 안에 이게 잡아 장네 찬스 장초지네 초바남 초 정도 되는 도지 심바라나 템바라스 템베스
And then let's go on. Yeah. And then at Vajrasattva's heart on a moon disk is the syllable Hung, encircled clockwise by the 100-syllable mantra. As rays of light emanate from the circling mantra, streams of elixir of the primordial awareness flow from the hearts of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions and dissolve into Vajrasattva's crown. Then from every part of Vajrasattva's body, particularly from the Hung syllable at his heart, elixir falls in a stream that flows from his right big toe, entering your body through your Brahma aperture and expelling in black forms all non-virtuous deeds and defilements of your body, speech, and mind, and transgressions of all samayas. Imagine that your body is filled with stainless elixir and say the 100-syllable mantra as much as you can. At the conclusion, when you make offerings and Vajrasattva dissolves into you, your body, speech, and mind merge inseparably with Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind.
드네 다테린 도르제 심바 고송도 당랑은 롱아이소 일미 제바 상피 냠바르 샤라 제고와 차서 다 제동 도르제 심베케드네 다테 소소 이기야 동도 데 도르제 심베 다 저는 되게 다 송세 들으som도 다네 와 참고들이 드스 비용 치용도 드스만 비용 치용도 되네 르 참지 드스티 파트마노 파타네 되게 참 샤르 그들이야 실험나 쇼이도 벌고 르 참지 드식 그리고 강 송zam실험제나나 쇼도 봐 오만은 쇼도 나 이거로 어떻게 차 송zam을 보든 도저 심백이다 저랑 되게 탐색님 자 탐지 다 송세네 셰지셰네 도저 심바 토니오나 셰시베데네 zam네 되네 도저 심바 라케누가 이송나 템 송zam 되네 도저 심베 고송도 다나케누가 이송 예르미 바차 송zam 되네 냠바샤 고레 송도
And so then, thus imagine and set your mind evenly in equipoise and then do dedications. And so here, so while you recite the 100-syllable mantra, while you accumulate it, you visualize how the stream of nectar, the elixir, flows down into your crown, fills your body, and purifies all stains, all defilements. And then at the end of the practice, you imagine that your whole body has become like a crystal vase filled with milk or yogurt, completely white. And then Vajrasattva says to you, now all of your negativities, your obscurations, your Samaya transgressions, all your downfalls are purified, and Vajrasattva is very pleased. And then he dissolves into you, and then think that now my body, speech, and mind have merged inseparably with Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and then rest in a state of equipoise for a while.
我大家当都这准备，就让对这他从这些些个呀，也会有体些这些，那对对这他出来也个嘞，是我的呢，我的去嘞，真的他的就当他在的，他对点多不些的点的地方他讲过去，多不些，他多不些是了，他多不些，他多不通过的点就多不些个哇，我点就多的地方也是有这点就。 ora ta den ju dobs den ju dob ta te tere ta te ne ko la nga to dorje sim ba ko mya te la den ju dob chi o te ne ta ne ba sun ji be dob se ne ba sun ji be dob se na kha se na da ti ba ta jo ba ji o te ne ya ba chi ya ta ne ba sun ji be dob se o te ne nga to ta ne kha chi na dorje sim be ka la dorje sim be ke ko le du chi ji ha ne ma 대접 타시들에다 랑케다 제심 줘봐도 지바 야화치 이제레세 수인집에도 줘봐 미나 야페메다 송으로 어ත네 줘봐 미나 야페 타츠고 말해서 어ත네데 어다 신집에도 어ත네 년보 군도 줘변 또 선한 년보 군도 줘변 또 개변 대표 년보도 개와래 개와 나라에 배송으로 대표 이다선은 개와천 타바이스 이거 이다 삼시는 개와천 전에 타그래 송으로 되는데 니 먹고 이제 좀 없어. 왔다 되나 가는 거 이게 동야더라. 니 먹고 이제 좀 없지. 왔네 다 소르치베 또 선도 가시 돈베도 선도. 다들 가리 나면 진정에 되고 뭐지? zor하지 되고 지금에 something. 왔네 야 같이나 되고 다 저게 진짜 dom세면나 마다 진짜 dom세면 다 저거 말해 송으로 와. 我这样的起的起面上，可以等于咱们亚当人这块在起码也会起，就或者咱们这块他这个嘛来说，其实当然去的起面，怎么这么起来的？但你把所有起面都不成了的，单就都不成了的，我的来说，我到底都不写在厂呢，那这块可以呢，没大些有嘛来说我的呢，我这就中了，但俺那做这块吧，他妈里面这个，王伯杰有的我都讲呀，这都是是那个。 근데 캐치 모레서 어디 엔딩 가도 다 되니까 나도 저도 뭐 공야라 저도 같이 야라 근데 내가 오늘 대원데 다가 고마도 받을 때 같이 되시 홍색으로 와셔 되는데 내가도 디렉트도 받이 다 손나 되네 대 펜토 침보요래 내가 찾아 침보도 관련 요르 제도 봐 어디 펜토요래스
And so the reason why Vajrasattva in the end is very pleased and tells us now all of your negativities are purified is it is said that this thought makes it even more powerful for you to purify negativities, not to think that now he has accepted your confession. And so generally, it is said that we purify negativities or lay them aside by practicing through 4 powers. And the first one is called the power of support. And so here in this practice, that is Vajrasattva. So we need power of support means that we need someone to whom we can confess, we can offer our confession. And so in this case, it is Vajrasattva. So we confess to Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva is the support. Then the second power is called the power of remorse. And so it is said that in order to purify negativities, we have to regret our wrong, that we have done something wrong. And if we do not regret, we cannot purify our negativities. So we have now in this context of Vajrasattva practice, we visualize Vajrasattva and how from his form a nectar stream emerges and purifies us. And so all of this purification really only occurs if we regret. If you recite a confession or practice a confession, but you don't really regret, then it is said that negativities will not become completely purified. And then the third power is called the power of the antidote. And so the antidote to negativity, non-virtue, is virtue. Therefore, Milarepa also said that in order to purify the negative mind, we have to develop a positive, a virtuous mind. And so here, in this case, the power of the antidote or the remedy is to recite the 100-syllable mantra, the recitation. And then the fourth power is called the power of resolve. Some call it resolve, some call it commitment. But basically it means that even at the cost of my life, I will not again repeat these negative actions, this negativity. It is said that if we don't feel such a commitment, a resolve to not again engage in negative actions, then we will not purify our negativities, even if we have the other powers. Because we may think that it's okay, I can do something wrong, and then after that, I just confess it and purify it again. So it doesn't work like that. In order for it to really become purified, we have to have a commitment to not again repeat misdeeds. And so it is that if you have this resolve, then really any negativity can become purified. And so the practice of Vajrasattva is important. It's important that we purify our negativities, our obscurations, because we have accumulated them since beginningless time in samsara. So there are thick layers of obscurations. And as a result of that, if we now want to practice Mahamudra, if we are so obscured, then it's possible that we will not be able to really develop a good meditation or a realization. It's possible that we may experience some obstacles in our practice. So we have to purify our obscurations, our negativities. And then that will benefit, that will help our practice of Mahamudra. It will help us to realize Mahamudra much quicker.
전에 당으로 시바의 면제레스 시바 면제라 니요레스 주베 면제 당 부베 면제스 주베 면제스나 다 제탄들이 마요 알는 거로 저어데 대안제사들이 부베 면제스 야단 부게 아트레스
Then we come to the fourth of the four preliminaries, and that is the mandala offering. And there are two mandalas. There's the accomplishment mandala and the offering mandala. The accomplishment mandala is like our representation, sort of like a support for our practice. And then the offering mandala is the mandala that we actually offer.
So the 당가 저 도저히 심배금대 대고함네 대제 파장네 저놈 초초 저거셔래 어디는 초 마사나데네 저도 진보도 가지야 디스칼레 가보여라 어디는 초 자야데 초도셔 면제스 차디요 어디네 대인데 면제스 보고셔레스.
So after having purified our obscurations and negativities through the practice of Vajrasattva, we then next also need to accumulate merit in order to realize Mahamudra. If we lack merit, it will be difficult to realize Mahamudra. And it is said that the best way to accumulate merit is to offer the mandala. So that's why we offer the mandala.
전에 장보 다 면제라 레이버 치스 다 면제의 면노 야본 쓰고레스네. 니마 보라티 가담 킬라마도 니마 면제네 시시니 뭐 라파네 공간 남시 창모라 내리 마자 되들이 되게 잡로 안 되는 위치도 되게 치라 계셔. 와 되게 치지도 와.
it says it begins with clean the mandala rings well. So first we have to clean the mandala base. And for example, in the old days in Tibet, when the past Kadamba masters were practicing mandala, often in winter time it was very cold, and they would make such an effort in cleaning their mandala base. So they would first wipe it with the inner side of the wrist, and then eventually, because it was also very cold, they would wipe so much that it would cause a wound. It would injure them, and then they would just turn around their hand and they would wipe it with the outer side of their wrist.
tanda ju rinpo che le chobe, sida ju rinpo che le chobe, xie kang chu yi guo xie dang tenpa zams, ti yu su, shuo xie singe che dang, dai bi ke rinpo che che nima dang, di me ten la, ji be zawe lama, yu su zawe lama, xiar tu ye dang, xiar tu ten, ta zawe lama ten, du ti xiar tu chak yore, ten xiar tu ye dang lo, sang je gong chio, ta lo de ye gong chi, Nob Japchi, Nob Chu, Chang to Gendu, Goncho Goms, Tedar was then Trove, Zawa, Juba Nama Tamba, Juba Nama Tim, Yadam Ingor, Yadam Tasso Namatin, Sanje Chochu Sanje Latin, Chu Tambi Chu Bad Mi Balatin, Gendu Niranta, Chancho Simbala, so the Gendu Nama, Bad Mi Balatin Zondo.
And then you visualize the mandala as a celestial mansion made of all kinds of precious materials with 4 corners and 4 entrances. In its center and at the 4 corners are precious thrones, each supported by 4 lions and with a cushion of lotus, sun, and moon. Seated on the throne in the center is your root guru. In the east is the Yidam deity, and so the east would be in front of you. In the south is the Buddha, and the south would be to your right. In the west is the Dharma, will be to your left. Is right, and the Dharma is left. And then in the north is the Sangha, and the north would be behind you. And then when dazzling lights emanate from them, dissolve the root and lineage gurus into the guru, Yidam deities into the Yidam deity, Buddhas of the 10 directions into the Buddha, countless forms of Dharma into the Dharma, and countless number of noble Sangha, such as hearers and solitary realizers, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, into the Sangha.
我这当然做当工作工作的，他在做件的话，我在面对样的面对面弄着这个，那提供专门啊，在那多嘛的做做啊，做机器措施，但确实的是嘛些，我的路径那这个，我听的，但呢，他的你这个做的那么多面对在铺了，听着穷的，听着面对在铺下这个，你都要交的，我听着穷的专门啊，我在问的，他做的位置。我这边的那么一把，那么多件枪，我听一把这这边那么长没过的了。我真的下次一当可乐顿把做呗，一当他做他们去，一当可乐顿把是吧
Sorry.
可乐顿把了说，一当他做那么过吧。我真的说在上节的了，上节小在做把了说，可是上节东西过吧。我真的家去的了，特别去播的。 从那边啦，中医那说特别求报的特别疼，用的给女的了，他做因为自己强调什么？因为自己那说给女的说，我的这美国求穷中嘛，他们这他我这的话题，我这起来嘛，同吧，话题哪么同吧，他就现在求穷中嘛，他说他过的了，我他就让我在什么当回后让你对呢。
And so here we're visualizing the field of accumulation, or we also call it the refuge tree, according to the preliminary Dangondro practices. And so sorry. So if you have a mandala base in the context of the preliminaries now, a mandala base that you kind of if you kind of create a mandala, you don't have to be a real mandala. You can have some kind of mirror as a base, a mirror, and then you place 5 heaps on it, representing those like 4 directions and then one in the center. And the 4 directions, the 4 heaps in the directions are a little bit lower, and the center heap is a little bit higher. And so then you visualize in the center, the central heap is in essence, the root guru, and in appearance, the Buddha Vajradhara. And then you visualize how he's surrounded by all the lineage masters, all gathering around. And then in the front, you have the Yidam deities like Chakasambhara and so forth, and the other Yidam deities. And then in the south, so to your right, is the Buddha Shakyamuni, surrounded by the 1,000 Buddhas of the fortunate Aeon. And behind is the collection of the Buddha's teachings, the Dharma teachings. They're called the 12 branches of the scriptures. And then on the left side is the Sangha, consisting of the Arhats and the 8 close Bodhisattvas and all the other assembly of Shravakas and Pratyakas and Bodhisattvas and so on. And then kind of around the front periphery are the Dharma protectors. And the Dharma protectors are there so that we do not lose the siddhis, the accomplishments that we generate, and so that no obstructors can enter from the outside.
我他呢，我到他那去，他在不愿有了啊，有前面的去，他不要在有人不去，这是业的筹备，养些家去为做不下子，他面对从不要的拉去呢，这样我那做人不去去这里过来也是，我他呢，他在开始嘛，就那这一期那在他面那说上不抽那说把这种那这个啥的，我这做去，我他在穷嘛说呢。但这类来说，他那是配做出，但这类来说是配人就这个的。但他们我这个去年不一样，面啥都进那这个是啥都，做我这说说就那别的出国的是，就要不呢，我就要不嘛配呢，是那去那是那个你怕跑过来是，就没那一件面呢，要不就要过去的，咱们当我嘛也是，我听你说说个，我这来说说个就那别的是，面对这听着配呢要不的是，我这这我真的，他这趟在定制了，要不有啥的，我这个中国人嘛，中多空这趟的，人嘛，他是参的，你们前面的就是那个切天学长这嘛，从是，我这切天学长嘛，这对他呢，他的这个问题，人点啥的快突破掐下的，我这对这是他定制的，他就掐的是，他这个问题就是人点掐下来，他对这么忙做，我第一次看来看过了。我听着在桥对，我听着这些种的，我听着对不对的，这个要啥的个那说说要过去呢。
And so then next is the recipient or kind of the object that we are offering. So, which is the mandala itself. So we are offering the mandala. And so now for the substance of the mandala, so it says it is made out of precious objects, precious jewels. And so regarding that, ideally, so if you can afford it, so basically you offer the mandala that you can afford. If you can, the best kind of mandala is made of precious gems, metals like gold and silver and so forth. Or if that's not possible, then you can also offer, it's called like the 6 excellent medicinal substances, like different medicinal like herbs and so on. Or if you can't assemble that, you can also offer different grains, different kinds of grains. Or if you don't have anything at all to offer, you can even offer pebbles and stones. And so, however, if you can afford a better kind of mandala that you offer, and you still resort to the stones and the pebbles, then it is that you actually, that's actually a fault. We should not do that. But on the other hand, if you really can't afford it, and if you feel that you really have nothing to offer, then you shouldn't worry and think that, oh, I can't make an offering because I have nothing. So then you can go to the pebbles and the stones. And so the purpose of this is, it's for the sake of establishing, creating an auspicious connection. And there's a story about that from Jigten Sumgyeon, and he actually said before when he was practicing the mandala, he said that he didn't have all the conditions to offer the mandala perfectly. And as a result of that, it turned then out that the main seed then ended up being in Drikung Til, and that is a very rugged, kind of rough place, kind of land, a bit of a rugged terrain. And so that's because of the imperfect mandala offering. He said that's what he got, it is rugged, kind of rough terrain. So it's important to offer the mandala as well as we can.
와, 근데 단들이 마성도 근데 저당 처음 고통 다 만들어서 망보 요사리. 근데 나다 용스 차바지 좀 숨숨둥제다. 되게 좀 둥바도 망보도 노아. 와텐디 다다들이 좀 둥데 뭐야 텐사레스. 와텐디 되네 럼보치를 조금 좀 우스 좀 이제 샤스. 우지 저다는 뭐 샤르 제 샤는 샤른 파보. 또 샤는 돈 잠벨에 노드 노 팔랑주 창도 창점에 의장 샤르게 발란니마 의장 노브지 발란 다와드네 의장 네 의사다 매 변절 좀 소바 마상마 미바 동섬 럼보체 강마 주로 강마데 다케 르롱주 다 기베 자바는 또바 미반부 의세 부셴이 소다 센 푸고레 스타티 강 솜티 소데 단르기 링체 라 닌다라 소바당 제가 나 이게다 사다 미 변절 좀 소바 가르 뭔가 상마 소소 로랑데真的푸나 我的朋友亲朋友认识，我他们在大浪经济起手在刘坡在那的铺过去了是的，刘坡在铺，真的做我等下都留了当地有的，我当没这是当地年不的做，我听你真的留给当地是把谁怎么样，我听你偏给的，听你就是铺过的种多。
And so then there's different kinds of kind of versions of the mandala offering, or kind of different numbers of heaps that we offer. The most common ones are the 37-fold and the 7-fold mandala offering. And so here, this one here is the 7-fold mandala offering. And so it says then, as you place a handful of offerings in the center, signifying Mount Meru, then a handful in the east, signifying the eastern noble body continent, a handful in the south, signifying the southern rose apple continent, a handful in the west, signifying the western wish-fulfilling cow continent, and a handful in the north, signifying the northern unpleasant sound continent, and a handful between the center and the east, signifying the sun, and a handful between the center and the west, signifying the moon. And then piled up in the center of the mandala are the many magnificent wealth and glory of gods and humans appearing like the 3,000 world systems filled with many kinds of precious objects. And holding nothing back, offer these together with your body, wealth, and virtues you have accumulated in the 3 times. So we bring to mind everything, the entire universe, the sun, the moon, Mount Meru, all the abundance and wealth of gods and humans, along with our own body, because our own body is what we are attached to the most. And we identify with our body. We think that that's the self. And the mandala offering mainly is an antidote to self-grasping. And therefore, if we also offer our body, it will help purify the grasping at the body as the self.
tene nge ma mela re pa de da sambo da de pa mambo chi tene kong de pa da ya zenyam ne chi zang ro ya de kurang ke tambo tu la de nyana ma ti ke zokchen la ma rong tong da ga se ya je le dang ro wa rong tong da ga rong tong da ga rong tong da ga se tera dang ro wa ya tera de la ma ti za zi de da de dang wa na ro chi ji yo yin de yin nge chu zo kwa chin bo de da be me si za chin bo re is 我听的，今年你讲你上进了是，参我们参上进过了是，刚才人出现就是那光么过来上进了是，老说，真的没来这边给呀他，我你嘛都接不你嘛就平常我说是，这虽然接不你嘛两种做过说是，对你嘛就不做过说，虽然你嘛两种过说是的大同说是，他去什么呢？吃药的，我刚才人出现啥的，咱们光嘛家学的多空。 대 교대도 된 니마들 라마 되기다 라도 다 내게 가장 개차변 통보도 차스도 있으나 지랑이 마음에 딕션스 예사를 있을 때 된된 예사를 있을 때도 당에 지랑 유튜브 말이었어 어제도 다 지랑라 로다라 말라라 사세제 요레스 나서미 톱톱지 어제도 텔레 지랑 렌조도 있어 어다 지랑 들어 송스데 롱도 돼야 봐 되된도 말와 생각 거와 좀 말해 믹스에 들어가지 돼도 我这说完了，真的，他就是么啦，马路上还送了，这马路这里呀，送的人家，他不马路去，但马路没那么上步个米，没来的把苏曼的马送了，他苏曼现在在那没来的把我家接给了，新加坡被因为空气的，但强的去的，新加坡去一点点马路了，这没来的把这里呀用的呢，马路啥些看到我这啦，就算这啦，但俺那种意思，吃，给家吃啥马路啊？来就马路新加坡都有了。 하여튼에 세트네 수고도 때도 어때 다 지난 시간을 보셔 참 통스 어때네 이게 말로 사실은 투교를 쏘고서 들라베테 그 말에 반창 통 근데 시간으로 굉장히 부재기 다 쇼어도 말을 쇼어도 그래서 그리고 말에 비야 시간 상마 말로나 그렇게 말로 시간 상마로 당 얘네 같아 통다 라만지야 그거 통다 드롭시도 我听到那些马路这个马上现在什么路，真的，亚松的，这马路路上它这个现在路的人，这人多，马路路上看了，它我这里现在路的人，它小个，它马路看了，马路俺意思，哪里，这马路里边要抢些，这马路里边俺这地块钱不意思，我没得钱是意思，真的，那要花钱意思，我真的，俺多过去说这个地讲老意思。 어때네 세계 류제 상대 담아 세계 류제 상대비 담아 나로 치스 어때네 네 룽아에서 지나 표시라도 어때 말이게 야 룽아에서 표시하다 야본도 이나 도고 초섬 상황에 뒤치 두고 말했어 저는 양은 추오신 받을 양은 상황하고 심하지스 어텔라비데 메레키야 다가 상황에 심하지 추오시 나로 치스라래 我真的，我那就这块开始的，这块的去是哪吧？我这他上节没见他去哪了哪里个是，去哪宁住哪里个是总有吧？我这真就的，那么那里边马路龙啊一上配套的，有的马路去开的是那马路去，他来看过这个这块讲下去的，王博生发过套，他说亚先就马里也他就开始进来，在那里边谈都有去。 我这里来了，我都说这其他的当地就是嘛穷当头呀，我真的这里有啥的，没得弄，他们其他的有啥的，就是我这里多。
And so, for example, the story of Milarepa. In the beginning, Milarepa had committed a lot of negativity. A lot of evil deeds, and eventually he regretted and wanted to practice the Dharma. And so then first Milarepa actually followed a Dzogchen Lama. He found a Dzogchen Lama called Lama Rongdön Laga. And so he told Milarepa, my Dzogchen teachings are extremely precious. He said that if one practiced them in the morning, one would become enlightened in the morning. If one practiced them in the evening, one would become enlightened the same evening. And he said that and then there are some fortunate, karmically fortunate beings who would even achieve enlightenment without even needing to practice at all. And so Milarepa then was considering, so he has been quite successful in his practice of sorcery. So he said, he thought to himself, so I learned the art of sorcery, of casting spells in just 14 days. And then I was able to have the hail fall. No, I was able to create hail in just 7 days. I must be one of those fortunate one he's talking about. And so he felt at rest and felt that he didn't have to do anything at all. He could just attain enlightenment without having to do anything, just lie and sleep. And so then one day, the Lama then realized how strong Milarepa's negative karma was. And then he told him that you are so you have so much you're such an evil person. I'm not the right person to help you. My teachings will not help you. But there is a master with whom you do have a karmic connection, and he belongs to the new tantric system, and that is Marpa from Hlodok. You should go there and meet him. And the moment Milarepa heard the name Marpa, a very great feeling of devotion arose within him, and he immediately set out to find Marpa. And so then he went, was on his way to see Marpa, and Marpa actually already knew that he would be coming because he had a dream, and he wanted to receive him. He wanted to receive Milarepa, and so Marpa came out, but he knew that if he would instantly present himself as Marpa, then Milarepa would feel very, very proud that Marpa would come to meet him like that and welcome him. So he disguised himself as a farmer plowing a field, and he had a jar of beer with him. And so Milarepa then came along, and he asked what he thought was a farmer, so where is the great master Marpa? And of course, it was Marpa, but he would not reveal his identity. And so he just said, oh, he's around somewhere, but and I will go try to find him for you. But first, why don't you have some beer first and plow the field? And so then Marpa, the farmer, then left, and Milarepa was there. He drank the beer, and he started to plow the field. And then a boy came back, which was Marpa's son, to bring him back. And he said, now come, Marpa is ready to see you. And Milarepa thought he was not done plowing the field yet, and he thought, I'm going to meet my guru. I better complete the task. So he completed plowing the field, and when he was done plowing the field, then he went to see Marpa. And when he was in his presence, it was revealed that, in fact, that farmer had been a Marpa all along. And so then so Marpa then asked him who he was, and Milarepa said, I'm a very sinful person, and he told him all the terrible things he had done, and he confessed, and he said, I want to practice the Dharma. I want to lay all evil aside. That's why I come to you. Please provide me food, clothing, and the Dharma. and please give me the instructions to attain enlightenment in a single lifetime in a single body. I'm offering you my body, speech, and mind. And to that, Marpa said, I can't offer you all of that. It's wonderful that you offer me your body, speech, and mind, but you will have to choose. It's either food and clothing, or the Dharma, or the Dharma and no food and clothing. And so Milarepa thought that he was here for the Dharma, so he chose the Dharma over the food and the clothing. And so then Marpa also asked him about all the evil that he had committed. And then as Milarepa requested the instructions to purify all of his evil, Marpa then said that enlightenment depends on your own efforts. It depends on your own courage, your own perseverance. And so then he put Milarepa through many hardships. He made him build houses and tear them down again, and Milarepa persevered through all of the hardships. And through this whole process, his self-grasping diminished. So that's the significance of those preliminaries.
tene tanere mater wa usu ta me benjo person so ba khare ten da te terin wa tene yons hes zor se wa ta yons dal to kan chot je wan zi zor nyam nyong dun ji mi bar charwa chinji la zor tene ye dang la so so chu ban bus da ke lu dong chu ge we za wa ta ji ban na bus yons hes dal to kan chot je wan zi zor nyam nyong dun ji mi bar chen ji la zor chu control from that dark and is on give it about and given on buwachi yons sheso dala to control the jival zit so nyamno junji mi bar chinje la so she la ba so zurba da stata zur ngodo yuren to chene gom zon do ta malo shan disat.
And then, so you have visualized this field of accumulation, and then you supplicate. Sublime Guru, I offer you everything, my body, wealth, and the root of virtue. Please accept them fully. Please make the most excellent realization dawn in me. Please grant your blessings so that I may have uninterrupted meditative experiences. Likewise, supplicate the assembly of Yidam deities. I offer you everything, my body, wealth, and the root of virtue. Please accept them fully. Please make the most excellent realization dawn in me. Please grant your blessings so that I may have uninterrupted meditative experiences. And the three jewels, I offer you everything, my body, wealth, and the root of virtue. Please accept them fully. Please make the most excellent realization dawn in me. Please grant your blessing so that I have uninterrupted meditative experiences. And so, and then meditate on these preliminaries for a long time.
tene da zonam so so ya ke he chi yo cha de ra da nga zo mala re de zong yo da da 소님 비네 마사나 터베데와 메톱송 스마 마라를 세 터베데와 톱 아래 송송 소님 베 송치 마사나 터베데와 메톱송 어때 송송송 때때로 베 나로 라 너무 된제 ren종라스 제바 메베 마토 바라스 소니 힘된 콜로라 제바 마지 나로 바 송도다 상마지 바 소니 조 그래 스롱을
Long thing I lament of Tilopam now.
너무 담보 말아래 봐 들어봐
Mare Tilopam Naropa.
나와 대한지 ren종라스 나와 대한지 ren종나 denderewa nawa de jeba mi ba ma tho wa jeba mi ba dan jeba mi ba ha ko ra tong ba ni zhong dan ne ro ma tong ma tho wa jeba mi ba ma tho wa ra sonyi xing de ko lo la sonyi xing de ko lo na yi是 说那么说的一些从新大人ko lo ni go shu sa de mi dong这我们这min这个嘛ran ko lo ni yo jo sin na wa de sonyi xing de ko lo la jeba ma jin na ro ba
And so the accumulation of merit is really very important to reach enlightenment. And so Milarepa said that Marpa had told him that unless you make an effort in the two accumulations, you will not attain the bliss of liberation. And then also Tilopa told Naropa, so through in order to realize the unborn empty nature, you need the interdependent connection of relying on the guru, and from there the two wheels of a chariot, which are the two accumulations. So he said, never separate from the two wheels of a chariot that will bring you to enlightenment. Until enlightenment, never separate.
다 들이 마송 진도와 니파 고지라 니데스 다 니파 고지라 니요레스 심니 뉴만 고조바 당 나토 고조바 워스 어다 니데 심니 뉴만 고조야 나메 토 고조야 니보레스 워 당보다 심니 뉴만 고조바 다 하니요레스 셴네당 항동 워트레 송도와.
Then we come to the second part of the text, and that is the main body consisting of two pointing out instructions. And these two are pointing out the innate nature of the mind and pointing out appearances, the nature of appearances. And so the first one pointing out the innate nature of mind that has two parts. That is shamatha, calm abiding, and vipassana, or special insight. Yeah, the first calm abiding or shamatha is called the calm abiding with a focal object. It begins with, so the calm abiding with a focal object begins with assume properly the body posture, so the physical key points. And so the physical posture is also important. It is said that the key points of the mind are kind of the support of understanding the view, and the key points of the body are the support for meditation. And so Milarepa said that this is how one should practice. In the beginning, when one as a preparation, beginning of one's practice. So he said that first of all, there are different practices. You can either practice shamatha with a support or focal object or without one. Whatever you practice is that first you must cultivate a mind of love and compassion. And so love is the mind that wishes for sentient beings to be happy. And compassion is the mind that wishes for them to be free from suffering. And then with love and compassion, you set your mind toward enlightenment. So you want to establish them in enlightenment. And then that is called bodhicitta. So first you must cultivate bodhicitta as a preliminary. Then next you engage in the practice that where you practice the pure view, that is a meditation that is without any concepts. And in the end, you should dedicate for the sake of others. And so also it's important that when we engage in practice that we actually gain a real experience and not just leave it with an understanding. For example, if a person is very hungry, and then they just hear the names, for example, like the menu of a restaurant, there's all kinds of things, they hear the names of different kinds of food. If they're somewhere else and not in the restaurant, just knowing that there are those kinds of food is not going to fill his belly. And so similarly, if we just understand what emptiness is, that alone will not make us realize it. We have to practice it. We have to habituate it. And so whatever we practice, calm abiding, a special insight, it's important that we experience it. As we said, we need to purify obscurations and accumulate merit in order to be able to experience this. And so in order to experience it, the main point is to sustain a single-pointed and undistracted mind.
真的，但今天中午他说我的开始中新的安排杀脚了，但新的安排杀脚噻，安排杀脚噻，那他等眼子的话起，这趟去呢他没被弄吧，是的，他忙不在老家有了，我让出去的呢，他平常没被弄吧，的是个人好不多，听说我在等眼子的话起，当年是他没啥，这类那都安排杀脚的，这安排杀脚了，不是等等，集中家是的，他这不是说。 电对我这过来是电对我这，电对我们那国家头嘛哇，我听电集中家是他在这轮你是啦，听轮你他集中做家过来是，3天也拿关系呢，他3天也拿关系呢，3天给拿做，结果是他轮那他单位听，甚至光那他光别你是，他的第二辈这种了，轮那他单位听，甚至那他光别你是，我真的轮那他单位听的，我轮起来开全部有的是，我真的。 你嘛真给了就多龙巴节的只有忙不节有的是，只有得了这就吧，长松头的忙不有的是，长松头做苏坡长坡去光家都有，只有在哪一在，这苏坡呀长坡去的，真只有他说了，对眼睛接的是，真的，他长松头做把这就把这也说是，但是有啥忙我下，只有只有是实在行吧，确在的送对的了他这有的是长松头吧，你嘛的这就把这。 嘛的长松嘛，俺让上去的话，俺嘛他让上去，让上去，让上去，让上去设计有了，年头让家里有了，他只有提早的了，只有担保着对的了。
What is geht mir wahrscheinlich die angesungen und die drum die
担保他的实际的确在只有俺家是有的是只有。 tene tribu ngabja se yore se tribu ngabja se yore tene tera la ta ran sanje tero mambo yo sarwa te ran sanje te so lupo chambo chi te di chom ja te gom ja yo sarwa e chi du tribu te so ke tena yi ji kwa chi de te ko ya zo so na da ha chi re se kon so tribu te so dingen ji je re se tere ya te je le ta ti ran sanje to ja jumbe kompang top so sarwa 这实际的有啥嘛的呀？这里只是确在的从对，对呀，长松头嘛不有的是，长松头我们的家伙在道堂站门这刚把那往样这我们站门这得有啥是吧？ 샤다 티비트도 참보 지디디 레세가 티비트도 참보 지디디 장송도 좀 나시 참보 지디디네 곰 자레스 에나 곰 제레스 텐주 정도와 샤데인데 당가서 리포트 참보 거레스 류창나 샘창 류창나 자창 자창나 샘창스 샘창 등에지 내용들이 정도와 다 지당대 류테 안 카히제 요런 가서 팀장 안제 망보다 가서 제 냠냠 티저를 카히 안 개반나데 실레다 원다메다 요로와 지좀 자투 그 말에 근데 다 같이 지좀 자 마토 개반나 쇼나 곱자간디나 되게 어떤에 샘야 류 정보 시스템에 개와 정보 시스템 되게 같이 다 되지 안 카히 개반나도 개반난 답이 요마데 조데 소고 대보시나 곰 자투를 야를 안데 나찬종나 곰 자투 그 말와 말이요
Dini Tangsong di Chila Lebna Dini.
他常送的都在中国咱们这可以刚把那么来讲，可以咱们这起在确实话下，这个是说长波、绿波、长波基地的常送的出了，在莫大的安和几块的长波基地有啥话？
Ni Zachong Bacharwa.
常送的出了，这定义自己的是，
No Tindira. Dini Chadu. Didi Chadu.
但是定义自己有啥的？
Oh, oh, okay.
长波定义自己不接受什么绿波咱们这起的话，可能
Yudenzo.
常送的出绿波在刚把那么咱们这起的话。 당부 뒤부터도 랑 상제티 잘 검자로와 랑 상제도 루포 정보 지대등에지 뒤부터나 이치와 코나자 검자시게 말와든 근데 그 등에지 뒤에요 살아 뒤부터서 랑 상제도 저좀 공방 톱 사두데 사제들아 요사 말와 근데 뒤부터 사제 현바제 손뒤데 장송된 라면다 감 가게 감바 나라자 가게 라면다 지디 요사로와这这种长波基地的，长松厕所个这个哪一起呢？长波基地有啥了？那他这个的眼子，他的让上街的这个是的眼子的写了哇？这个厕所的呢，这长松厕所啊的眼子的写有啥了哇？
And so the Jiten Sumgun said that the point of isolating oneself to a place of seclusion is so that one does not encounter any obstacles to one's samadhi. And so that therefore it was said in the past one should go to a place where there are no people, complete isolation. And of course nowadays that is more difficult. We won't find such a place easily. But the main point is that the main point of isolation is that we want to be somewhere where there is no obstruction, no obstacle to samadhi, to our practice. And so then next, so you isolate yourself to an isolated place. And then next it says you should sit on a comfortable seat. So also it should be comfortable. Because if you're uncomfortable, your meditation will not go so well. And so then there are 7 branches of concentration. So this is basically a 7-point posture of the body. Tilopa said that the main kind of key point of the view depends on the physical, so the seeing the mind or the view depends on one's physical posture. And the key points of the mind then depend on meditation. And there was this story about there were some pratyekas, some solitary realizers who practiced samadhi. So they were in this really straight, still posture. And then there were 500 monkeys around, and those 500 monkeys, they saw those pratyekas meditating in this way, like being in this posture, in this very straight and still posture. And then the monkeys imitated them, and they of course, they were not really meditating, but they imitated them, and then they sat down and they kind of assumed a similar posture. And then just because they assumed that posture, imitating those pratyekas, they also developed great some samadhi. So then some later some rishis came along, and they saw the monkeys meditating in this way, and then they thought that if they can practice in this way, and we have to practice in this way, and then these rishis also practice in this way and assumed a straight posture and also attain samadhi. And so the point is that there is a real significance to the physical posture, that the posture can induce a meditative state of concentration, of samadhi. And so regarding the posture, so it is said that first we need to, so we are in this isolated place, and then we assume a crossed-legged posture. And if that's difficult, if that's painful, it's also okay not to sit cross-legged. You can also sit on a chair, or if you have back pain, it's good to sit in a posture that you're comfortable in, because if you're really uncomfortable, it will be difficult to develop a state of meditation.
你别总开始总我真就做的路中国堂三点米吧，龙面啊，送的你的路呢，你的路伢是两头呢，得花了你吧，得说怕系统的是你种花了你的，那这有人啊花恰的怕你的，就系统的，我这系呢的，其他都被统中国的送多啊。
And Chitin Sumgön also had said that when those three come together, so the three are the physical yoga, the yogic exercise, for one, then secondly, the focus of the mind, the visualization of the mind, and third, the key instructions of the winds, of holding the winds. When they come together, then these will kind of awaken or clear away the sleep of unmindfulness, and then when that is cleared away, then all purposes will be accomplished.
等到他的轮椅下，咱今天从过轮椅的开始呢，唐伯特2年前连岗做要不多，他那每年不那这了马拉达斯那这那个这的别单位起下是对吧的要长波的下过去噻的，他了每年下下是等到查工你不的2把起是查工你不头面嘛说吧，查管你头面嘛说吧起，机关的起，我的接的也看了就两的起是。 我这我就我这说不拿了下子，我这呢就今年在做我把那目标从就要等别从西藏没嘞，别从做完把车的嘞，我这就去过的是，我在身边集中嘞呢，是我身边集中现在大家当集中的人，他说刚把一把七，用嘛拿起把集当集中的几点这个都集中嘛嘞，我这就去呢，我中多啊，我这。
Senge Gidum Sungudradala. Senge Gidum.
身边集中，身把强确
身把，
身边集中，我的那里在集团集中得来的，刚把一把去弄着去，去我在集团集中得来的一些种子，我在轮里那么去对你谈点呗，他就去过的是。
And so Chitin Somgen then said that so you first you place yourself in a comfortable posture. So you sit in a comfortable seat, and then for the different physical postures with your eyes, you look down towards the level at the tip of your nose, and your shoulders are straight, so one shoulder is not higher than the other. They're the same height. and your tongue is slightly curled up, and you breathe naturally. So effortlessly, no effortful breathing and effortless breathing. And in terms of the leg posture, you sit in a crossed leg posture. It's not actually the Vajra posture, but it's where your left leg is inside and the right leg is outside.
근데 다시 지도 눈에 남나 쳐도 담보대 감바 dur지 좀 다지 좀 지용도 와다 냠네 기동 동안들 냠네 세나다 당아서 투시 동세나 다지 관사래 와대 투시 동 동안들 그래서 와는 라과 냠자 차자 지용도 되네 매냠 기동데 소왕도 그래서 와대 개세 정보 소스 상나데 종지 기동데 왕도 그래서 와대 dimba go zamchina 前句可能同样对这个类似，在本把的怕在将来这些天主亲的，每那次我天主亲那本把怕将来这些呢，开始是那的切记可能同样对这个类似，我真的每那次了的呢，这些怕都是往对这个类似，我真的些怕往对个类似，往些怕那么些的我有了
Die Sungjind Long die Karere?
啊。
Sungjind la.
松鸡笼这是吧？给谁传播其他松鸡笼？这趟松鸡笼你看那个了吧？我这这趟去呢，这土鸡笼这上来那个嘞，绵羊笼这台湾那个嘞，这松鸡笼这你看那个嘞，黔鱼笼这地方，
Die Tursilong die Kara Sangnera.
嗯，
Teni Menyam de
绵羊台湾，
Devala. Teni Sungjind Ninka, teni Dimpa,
黔就这些，
Chinjogiren
黔鸡
Radni,
黔鸡笼这就我是跟那个了吧？
Tevolara.
我到底松鸡笼土鸡笼这现在在当个做，金巴当阳中、中华当阳中，我估计吃吧这个了吧？ 매년 그런 때는 룩 초제 알아서 3만 주 투야다. 어디서 치기로 송지 그런 때는 다 남피 내서다 속 진정 대사로 다디 어디 내 투야다 대사리 어디 전주농 데카레스나 dimba ne ko sadong saya da gemo ge ya ke cha la ya la so wa ti ki le ka ti cha ro ro chi ge ro wa wa chep ji long ti jo wa ne ge da so ko kun jo pa ya de le ka che ya so wa chi tu ge ro wa wa ti long te te le long a ro wa za ge long a wa de mai na se ti na she pa wa de ku le s wa de ne lu sem te le da lu sem ya wo jam de na de lu ni tham chi so wa de ku le s da wa de lu chi na de lu ni du yun ja ji na de ge s wa de lu da song song ji pian song
And so then here is the 7-point posture. And so these are related to kind of subduing and of controlling the 5 winds, the 5 root winds. And so the first one is the crossed-legged posture with your legs. So you've the leg posture. And this brings under control the torso kilongra. Nyamba ni kilongra.
매년 나서 투시 놓고 년발 농조 요 말이.
I know. So it's the downward moving wind. And so the crossed leg posture with the legs brings under control the downward moving winds. And so the main chakra seat here that it's related to is the secret chakra. And then the hands in the meditative posture that controls the fire of the kind of fire equalizing winds, and that has its seat at the navel, and then the straight back, completely straight back, controls the life-sustaining winds, which is at the heart. And then the chin is slightly tucked inwards, and that controls the upward moving winds. And then the shoulders are expanded, and that controls the pervasive winds. And the eyes gazing towards the nose controls the general, like the consciousness. And so the downward moving winds, for instance, they are responsible for urinating, going to the toilet, and the fire equalizing winds are responsible for the body heat and the digestion, and the life sustaining winds are
松子龙在这当我动呢，他说起头说他对，
they control the breathing, the life breath, and the what is it? The upward moving winds at the throat are for like eating, speaking, laughing, and the pervasive wind, which by the way is on the crown, is all the things that we do, all the physical movements. And so Jiten Songren had said that the physical posture is significant. So if we assume a proper physical posture, then that will be beneficial for the practice of the mind.
哇，真的到这里轮轮出国的来把它钱呢是身边同的，上街错把它钱，让我到同步的身边同上街错，身边他们这种咱个娘俩的去学上，身边他们上街图标去娘俩去学上过的是，他把这规弄的他开钱包他的没拉的别讲你这身边同去要的开钱包同的些老son，我在吃喝的他身边同上街错把它钱是，咱们的呢旅游当啥子是，那旅游当看的啥子难得学的是。就当天呢，今天中国忙起是这两赛的时候，我们到一当他先把明这两赛我们这个重要的。我这个电网公告人家，他说看样子乔山他解决了看到了，一当他的多这方面下想到啊，我当时看的呢，他说说一当看的我们这个啥的，一当他是
공과린 그래? 린친 공과?
电网公告人家，
개막 공과 린친.
我的乔山他解决的话，他说呢，一当多这方面下很多啊。他其实呢，就当他公告人家那几天中午主管一种个吧。我他其实呢，真的他接我拉马光过的是，接我拉马光那么会东其实他么会东去过的是，么会东现在他我瞧着全部都换脚的，接我的脚，他拉马去前他们脚呢，瞧着都换脚的接学什么的，但是什么当说的，我东去啊，身体他忙。他这都换这样一了，没家是我当那边都换了，他这都换，忙我白嘛，他一起嘛的这种多。
And so then, so after you assume the proper body posture, you think, I vow to achieve Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. I'm going to engage in practice for the benefit of sentient beings. The intention is really very important. As we said before, Milarepa said in the beginning, first and foremost, you need love and compassion for sentient beings. And then visualize your body in the form of the Yidam deity. And so that generally can be any Yidam deity, your Yidam deity. But for the most part, and Jigten Sumgön himself too, and for the most part, when people practice this, we visualize Chenrezig. And also if you have no other Yidam, you can practice Chenrezig. And Gunga Rinchen, Gerwang Gunga Rinchen, who was also an emanation of Jigten Sumgön, and he composed a commentary on the co-emergent Mahamudra. In his practice and in his commentary, the Yidam deity is actually Vajrayogini. So you visualize the Yidam deity, and then above your crown is the guru. So meditate on the guru with heartfelt devotion. And so what you think here is that, may I quickly realize Mahamudra. And then without harboring any thought of past, present, or future, look at and set your mind on a focal object.
我等呢，他这档几点钟这种都开始呢， sometimes things you sometimes things same they nyambar shana then same they nyambar shatomna ambo chow you ambo chow da ambo chow then you chow chakarwa or you chow the chadam mo som ba junchi to gres or the same they it chizamne da yomo nam po samchi ba shet to gres.
And Jigten Sumgen also said that if you possess a focused samadhi, a single pointed meditative state, if you're able to sustain a single pointed meditative state, then you will control the six sense powers, because it's through the six sense powers that we perceive the six sense objects, which then cause the afflictive emotions of attachment, anger, and ignorance to arise. And so the single pointed focused samadhi has the power to disrupt those afflictive emotions, to cut through the continuous stream of discursive thinking and afflictive emotions.
Oh, then first this is going juices.
So let's take a 10-minute break.
Karma, yeah,
10 minutes, okay?
Yeah, okay. Karma, ship you can't so that Chicago Chuzo, Zom da Karma, some shooting the water, ship you can't.
So in Chicago time, we will meet back again at 3:40. So now it's 3:30.